Kevin Roth here of Rotogrinders, and today we're going to talk about the RG Discord. If you're not a member, you should be. It is a fantastic community and resource that Rotogrinders provides, and it's easy to join as well. All you have to do is click the Discord icon on Rotogrinders or go to rotogrinders.com/Discord. From there, you'll either sign up if you're new to RG, or if you're already a member, just click the link at the top to go to the sign-in page. Once you've logged into your RG account, you can be taken to Discord to log in there. Once you've connected those accounts, you won't have to leave the server. You can freely close out and reopen Discord without ever having to reconnect. The idea of Discord might be a little bit daunting to you, but it's actually pretty simple to navigate. Whether you're on mobile or desktop, the far left side will show you the Discord servers that you've already joined. Then next to that, you'll see the channels within that Discord. We have both free channels like Chiefs Prop Shop and our daily sport channels. And we also have premium channels like Blender's Game Theory or the Crunch Time channels. Premium members can see the difference between the free and premium channels by looking for a padlock icon next to the premium channel names. We also have a few pointers for new and experienced users alike. If you're having trouble finding a channel, make sure that you haven't collapsed the section that the channel is in. Collapsing a channel will only allow it to appear when there are unread messages in that channel. Also, we find that using the actual Discord program works better than opening it in a browser like Safari or Chrome. Lastly, if you're having trouble with one of our tools, your Rotogrinders account, or any other technical needs, you can hop in our feedback and help section of channels to get help from one of our wonderful support and moderation team members. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter @Rotogrinders or email support@rotogrinders.com. See you in Discord.
Baseball.
There it is. It's Kurt Dees. What's going on? Rotogrinders, Dean here, Dean 78904. The daily fantasy handle you'll see hopefully lurking somewhere near the top of some contest tonight. You might currently see one Kirk Tees or Tasteful Tides currently winning some Fanduel contests in baseball, but don't let that fool you. There's one game, and I guess they have some Brewers, right? Kirk Tees, we take the screenshots. I'll be excited about baseball right now because you do have some points. Some people have none. They haven't played anybody yet. Is Kirky's with me? What just happened? Am I all alone? Am I talking to myself?
Am I here?
Kirky's said, screw this. I'm out of here. Hold on. Basketball season's going on? No, I joined the wrong Zoom or something like that. Tim, Tasteful Tides, you're dabbling in some baseball. I'm sure you are. We were talking about a pre-show. Yeah. I actually did not play that. I mean, come on. We have to get the Cub game in to extend 2 more hours. And I think there were some canceled games too. I think was it the Met and the Yankees and the Red Sox were a 1 o'clock game. I think is that what happened? Is that why
we lost 2 games on the main slate? I think the Twins, Mariners.
Yeah.
But I was just so excited. I had to throw a lineup in the Fanduel main slate that started at 2 o'clock today.
Yeah, we'll be tilting some baseball for sure, and of course, a couple of games have already started as well. We got the Beebs. The Beebs is doing his thing. There was talk of pitch counts thought out there, and he's bottom of the third, 2 2/3. He's got 3 strikeouts, no hits just yet. Who knows how long he's going to go? Opening day, not fully stretched out, coming back from injury and all that kind of stuff. But monitoring that, Zach Cranky. Of course, Zach Cranky has 0 strikeouts through 3. He's in midseason form. Back in KC, good to see him there.
He was only 5,700 today, though, so he was worth a shot if you really needed him.
Yeah, well, one you didn't really need him, right? Because like salary, but 2, like you're not going to win the pitcher today because no pitcher is going to go crazy. I don't think.
I tagged him in our value plays on our lineup HQ, but I was like, you don't really need him, but if you want him, he's there.
Yeah, and I think he was a good value play. Yeah, for sure. Oh, we should mention to the people, what up, YouTube? Hey, if you guys are still grinding basketball and hanging out with us, we do appreciate that. It's man, playoff basketball is going to be amazing. We're going to have playoff content for sure, obviously here at RG. But it's a grind to the end, and happy to have baseball these next couple of days. I'm just happy, Tim. I don't know about yourself. I'm not doing content on Sunday. 15 games for basketball. I mean, maybe if you are,
I am. That's one of my content days.
Oh no, maybe think about getting a body.
Thanks, Dean. Thanks for that, by the way.
I don't assign these things. I'm not responsible for such things, but
I gotta think of my excuse already, just in case I get asked. I gotta have it ready to go.
Oh yeah, you gotta have like one on layaway right out of the bulletin. Somebody says, or they won't even say, "Hey, would you mind covering for on Sunday?" And normally, like, yeah, no big deal. And then you think about it. Whoa, what did I just commit to? 15 game slate. I think they're kind of broken up. I imagine they're broken up because it's not going to be all at the same time, but still, it's going to be a mess. Yeah. Get a good excuse. Do you have one ready to go, like a stock excuse if somebody asks you to do something? What's your, you could say like the fiance has something to do. Like
pregnant. I could say pregnant, something like that,
that works.
She's pregnant. She's having a baby. So
do we have an ETA?
8/29, little boy.
Nice.
Little Kirk coming into the world.
Do we have a name in the lead right now?
We don't. We have a lot of arguments. Is what we have so far.
What is your what's
I was literally pushing for Kirkwood. Like I think that's an amazing name, and she now is at the point where she will throw something in the room at me if I even mention it again.
Yeah, I think I'm on her. I gotta Tim. Kirkwood. That's what are we doing here? We shouldn't do that, right? I'm on her side.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean on her side also for that.
Well, what is in the lead for her? Does she counter with the name?
She wants Dylan or Brandon, and I was like, "What is it? Did you just watch 90210?"
Steve.
Yeah, might as well.
David. Why do I know the entire cast of Beverly Hills 90210? That's four.
One name I like though, Curtis. But he's remember the kid in 90210? Do you remember that?
Was he the friend of David?
No, he was stealing. No, that was Scott. That was Scott who killed himself. The
very special episode. Yeah.
No longer we can't really see that anymore, I don't think. But
no, I don't. Who's Curtis?
He was the little kid. He was like Brandon. He was hanging around with Brandon all the time, and he stole money from the Peach Pit. Because he turns out he was on his own pretty much, and he was trying to fend for himself, and Brandon took him under his wing. It was a real emotional.
There was a character arc where Brandon had a gambling problem. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
Why do we know this? I've not thought about that for 20 years. Tim, were you a big Beverly Hills 90210 fan back in the day?
I was not. No, I don't think I've ever seen one episode.
More of a Melrose Place guy?
No, I don't even know what that is. So.
More of a Dawson's Creek guy. I don't know how old you are.
I am 35. So
more of a Dawson's Creek. You were Dawson's Creek?
Yeah, I never watched that though. No way.
All right. Fair enough. Moving on. Seamless segue. These are the things to talk about in the last week of basketball. 7 games going down tonight in the association. Some Boston value. The Lakers are absolutely hitting the sim button. Cannot wait to get this season over with. They're 3 studs, using that term loosely. Well, they're 3 big, usage guys. Westbrook, Davis, LeBron not playing basketball tonight. That is the hammer as well. The only 10 o'clock game. At least we got that news. We could have speculated throughout the day. Oh, man, Kirkies, your Celtics. Billy, do you have an official take on this as far as with Boston? Do they want? Is there still some shenanigans going on with trying to avoid that 2 spot? Because they're currently in the 2, and do they want to lose tonight?
So it's too hard. This is I really don't think that they're planning for it, because it's too hard to know what's Philly going to do in this game, and what's I don't know. I think they're just trying to, they're resting Tatum, so maybe they're essentially punting, but I think they're still going to ball and play hard when they're out there. I think they're trying to get in playoff form, and they don't really. The take that I have is that they're not paying attention. to
Okay.
the actual spot about Brooklyn, and they're not even scared of Brooklyn, to be honest with you.
I agree with Kirk on that too. I think the guys who are going to be out there are going to be playing pretty hard to win this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think they're going to try. Yeah, I think so. Of course, things can go awry pretty quickly. This, by the way, the ESPN doubleheader. Oh man, they got Boston without Tatum, without Horford, some key pieces, and then they had the Lake. Of course, you got to put the Lakers on again in prime time on TNT at Golden State, and man, yeah, obviously no Steph on one side, no anybody on the Lakers. It's been some rough programming there for the ESPN, for TNT, putting the Lakers on every game for whatever reason. All right. We'll talk about, as the show progresses, as far as the body parts and as far as like the importance and who's trying and who's not trying and who's tanking and who's not tanking. Shout out to Portland, done an incredible job tanking. They've been phenomenal job losing. They've lost 8 in a row. Indiana's lost 8 in a row. Houston locking up that one spot, essentially. It's lost 5 in a row. Good for all of them. Well, we'll talk some more tanks as the show progresses. But what do we have here, Tim, as far as the slate before we kind of dive in and break it down? I guess we should, as always, this time of year, I like to take a look at the streaming values on the old lineup HQ. We just got a bump. And oh my God, the biggest value, dollar for dollar, raw points matter, obviously. Brzezikis is the biggest one on DK right now. Ignas, IB, they call him. We're looking at 7.25x. Then THT, somebody left standing for the Lakers. Peyton Pritchard, Trey Jones, RJ Hampton. That's on DK. Let's see if it's any different on FanDuel. Let's see. Dollar for dollar plays on FanDuel. THT number 1. Okiki, Marcus Smart, who's 5'3" over there. Devontae Graham, Brandon Ingram, of course, not playing basketball tonight for New Orleans. Nice matchup against Portland. Yeah, Tim, how do we feel about the value tonight? Those names, did I wet your whistle? Did you get excited about those guys?
I did not get excited, but I mean, I think that there is some really, really good value tonight. I also think that there's a couple trap plays out there that we need to pay attention to. There's going to be a lot of guys, I think, that might pop in projections that really aren't going to be that good of plays, but we'll break that down as we go.
By the way, you guys talking about the Masters, y'all were talking about Tiger Woods. I just joined the mystery box for Tiger Woods on DraftKings. I don't know the NFT, something. I don't know what's inside. It's a mystery. Is it you guys buy these things at all for funsies, or is that just Kirkties? Maybe.
I'm ruined by top shots that I can't. I'm all set with any of this crap.
Dean still does Top Shots.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got a Yuta Watanabe. And before the show, I got very excited about that. At least saying the name. It's a fun name to say. He is doubtful tonight. But yeah, I mean, I might, it's like Pavlov's dogs with me at this point, you ring the bell, I mean, there's a drop. I will partake and keep losing money. Sure. Why not? Yeah. So we're taking a shot here at trying to get a mystery container of Tiger Woods. We'll see how that goes down. All right. Multitasking, watching some baseball, talking some basketball. What do you have here, Kirkies, as far as tonight's slate? And Marcus Smart is going to be an interesting piece. Peyton Pritchard could be an interesting piece. White could be interesting. Tice could be a potential cheapie. Of course, that's just the Boston side, like guys like THT and Monk for the Lakers. And then, of course, there are some other spots as well, too, that, some players are resting, some teams are tanking, yada, yada. Did you like those cheapies I threw out for you? And is there anybody that you think maybe should join that conversation?
I get. I mean, I'm gonna play any one of these scrubs now after what Jaylen Hoard did to me the other night. So if you give me a $3,000 through $3,500 player and you put a lot of minutes next to him, I'm gonna be expecting 50 fantasy points. So at least, but I mean, Taylor Horton Tucker. So, I mean, talk about a guy who has something to prove in a game tonight. They basically gave him no role whatsoever. And he, even after strong preseasons and we've seen him, able to score and stuff. So he's kind of, I think he's a really solid play tonight. I can get behind that, but we still have some Spurs value, there with Trey Jones. I don't know. I would probably be looking more towards the RG value tonight than just the point per dollar on is the way I'll be approaching this slate. So yeah, I mean, and Jaylen Brown is scary. I actually think he's going to do well, and I think the Celtics are going to play hard in this one, as we said. But 8.9, I mean, that could go pretty bad in a heartbeat. I think he's going to be pretty chalky tonight. Marcus Smart, I mean, he's if he's on the court, he's going to be going all out. I'll tell you that.
He always is.
Yeah, he always is. Full throttle for him. But yeah, I mean, it's motivation is the most important thing we can do to figure out, and then just try to layer in some value with our studs tonight. I mean, who's your favorite stud tonight?
Man, so it's interesting. It's kind of tied together, because if I play Jaylen, we'll talk about that Celtic game again. If I'm playing Jaylen Brown, I'm almost definitely running it back with Giannis, because if this game stays close, you have to assume Brown's doing his thing. I'm probably playing Brown with Smart or something like that, and then throwing Giannis as a run back. But this, I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna get like a Phoenix situation we saw last night, where like it was completely like 30 points at the half or something goofy like that. But I can see this one going the wrong way, and Boston at some point will be like, well, what's the point of pushing it? There's just no upside. And it's not like there's a lack of bodies. They got Matt Ryan and Thomas and Fitz and Hauser and Cornette. There's a bunch of dudes that are happy to run in there. So I like that as a good starting point for a lineup. Of course, I'm always happy to get Jokic. Don't necessarily love the matchup, but he's matchup proof. And this is the game that would lock up the 6 for him. They have a magic number right now of 1. Denver needs a 1 win or a loss by Minnesota. And that's kind of a tricky one too, because I like Cat. I think Cat's got an awesome price. But does Minnesota recognize that they're basically locked into 7? I don't want to say they're locked in, but it seems inevitable that they're not going to jump up to Denver. Denver just needs a win or a Minnesota loss at any point until the season ends. And they're not going to fall back to the 8. So it looks like they're most likely to host. But, I love Cat tonight. So I guess those are my favorite studs. Do you happen to have one selected, or did I cover the ones you were throwing out there?
Cat would be my guy tonight.
Yeah. I like him a good bit, and they're probably just going to play him like standard, whatever. But just my thought is like maybe Minnesota does recognize that like it's probably not going to happen, but they're probably not going to give up either. How about you, Tim? You got a favorite stud in the slate before we kind of break it down game by game?
Well, it's definitely Cat on Fanduel, but it's Nikola Jokic for me on DraftKings. So hopefully, I mean, there should be plenty of value that you can play both on DK. Mm-hmm. So Cat's price on Fanduel is just broken. I really wanted to get the Jokic on Fanduel, but it's just so hard to get away from Cat on Fanduel because his price is just so cheap.
The Lakers waived Trevor Ariza, by the way, for what it's worth. They still have plenty of guys, and that doesn't matter. We have seen him start a game or two recently, but we'll talk about that game at the end, obviously. First game of the slate, Orlando, O-Town in Charlotte, 230.5 is the total. Charlotte is a big old favorite, 14-point favorite. And, they're essentially locked into that 10 spot. They're going to be on the road. They're going to play most likely Atlanta. Not guaranteed, but they're going to be on the road in one of the play-in nonsense. This is where we talk about IB and the other side in a second. But Tim, I'll throw it to you as far as the Hornets. Good matchup here against Orlando. They should thrash them. Orlando is laying down. Please, we want to lose. We'll pretend we'll put up our best effort. Yada yada. But yeah, talk about the Hornets.
Yeah, for me, it's just LaMelo Ball or bust. Terry Rozier is coming in way higher owned than I expected, and he's been in a big time funk lately. He's the type of guy that I want to ride with when he's got some momentum. He's not a guy that I want to play at between 20 and 25% owned when he's just he just hasn't been very good lately. So if you want a piece of this game, I think it's LaMelo Ball. Other than that, the opportunity cost is just too high to play Mason Plumlee at 4.1, even though I think Montrezl Harrell was a DMP CD last game.
Yeah.
So, but I just cannot imagine using a center spot on him. So for me, it's just Ball and that's it.
Yeah, especially if you're playing on FanDuel, you only roster one center, and this is a slate where you have salary and you have Embiid, you have Jokic and Cat. Like, what does Plumlee have to do?
There's so many guys in that same price range where PJ Washington is, where Plumlee is, that they're just be way at the bottom in terms of priority plays.
Yeah. I like LaMelo too. I don't know. He's not a priority play. I don't think I have any priority plays in Charlotte. And I think Rozier is interesting enough because the price is adjusted to whatever group, he's been a little bit off of late, but 6.9 on DK is a pretty good price. Some would say nice for Terry Rozier. Curtis, you jump in here as far as Charlotte, and feel free to jump over to Orlando, where we will have the conversation. We will acknowledge, IB, Ignas Brazdeikis. He's one of the cheapy du jours. He seems to be a guy that's like his run's going to be there no matter what. They're trying to lose. He will accommodate that. Well, what do you have here?
One of these days, Isaiah Thomas is going to go off and get a bunch of minutes. It's either today or like in their finale, but don't play him. But Miles Bridges would be my guy. I mean, I love LaMelo's my number one play for sure. Just the ceiling that you can get out of him in a game that, does still mean something to them, and they're going to be playing, going hard until the playoffs start. But Miles Bridges is my guy, and just, it's just all about matchup. I mean, it's just like a G League matchup for him. And this is a guy who can get a bunch of blocks and steals and can go off. So I don't have a problem fitting him in tonight. So I like him, but that's really it. I was kind of interested in like Kelly Oubre, but he just, after his bomb, like just for a little bounce back here tonight, but that's if you want to get a little frisky.
He used to be, there was a time where certain guys were out and whatever, but he was like 6 or 7K at one point this year. He's 3.7 now on DK. And it's just like,
and he used to be a viable sixth man too.
Yes.
That he used to be like a thing that you could play as a sixth man. And now he's just nothing.
He would close sometimes.
Right.
And it's just, it's been a disaster. And in theory, he's a guy that can get loose in a blowout, but that's a 150 thing if you want to play for some Kelly Oubre upside. But when was the last time? Well, he had a good game against New York, but that was in 24 minutes. 24 minutes is not guaranteed, obviously.
But Gordon Hayward's gone again. He came back and now he's gone again. So I mean,
the foot's not recovering.
I know the potential is there. He just hasn't played well, right? Except for that Knicks game. It's just the flyer on a crazy slate, 3,700.
Jose Ramirez got a double against Zach Cranky, by the way. Shout out to the Guardians for signing him, like 5-year deal, I think, 130 mil.
Did they sign him? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, and it came up on my TV at least. That's where I saw it. So unless my TV's lying to me, I think they signed him like a 5-year deal. And he's like awesome. He's just unfortunately stuck on Cleveland, but like he's really good. Fun player. There you go. Just taking a peek at.
Fortunately, the Franimals Cade right after that though.
Well, when I love the Franimal, but it's kind of when you're K'ing against Cranky, the only strikeout, by the way, on the board. Was that looking? Hopefully it was looking.
No,
I didn't see. Oh, geez. But when he gets a hold of it, though, it goes like 600 feet. And he's got a great nickname, as you've already kind of alluded to. So we gave Brazdeikis this nickname, the IB, pre-show. How do we feel about Brazdeikis as one of the cheapies on the board? We should mention the body parts in Orlando. Of course, Cole Anthony's got a toe. We're doing, what is this? Air quotes. Yeah, he's not playing. Franz Wagner, I think, multiple times has left games in the last week and just not come back. They're not even going to start him this time. He's gone. Carter's got a wrist. Gary Harris is questionable. I don't know why they would play him, but whatever. But we're projecting 32 minutes for Brazdeikis, and he's still really cheap on DK, 3.5K. Hampton's another guy. I don't like the Hampton one. Like, I don't trust that one. Good Lord. He's been bad like for a while now. What do you have here, Tim?
I think it's Devin Kennedy over Hampton if I had to pick between the two.
Would you want to play either one?
I think you could Kennedy maybe in a large field setting.
Okay.
But not in any kind of 1 to 3 setting.
Yeah. None of it looks there. And this is also a 7:00 game, only one 7:00 game, Tim. How much do you want to marry Brazdeikis? Like,
just like what you said at the beginning, though. I mean, a pre-show is that we've got a lot of the news. When I first looked at this slate, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to backload everything because I don't know what the Lakers are going to do. Well, we know what the Lakers are going to do. So
we don't know who's starting for them, but we know their options are more limited than normal.
True. But I mean, I don't think that there's going to be this whole, slate shakeup, that most of the slates have.
What could it be? Yeah, it's a good point. Well,
I mean,
doubtful. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Giannis gets ruled out. Like a counterpoint wouldn't shock me. I
think but that's a 7:30 game.
Okay, and then, okay. So they're playing Detroit tomorrow. Wouldn't shock me if they rest guys tomorrow.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see. This is the FS. All we care about is tonight and tonight only, right?
Right.
So, yeah, and again, stuff can fall out of nowhere that would surprise us. But you're right.
But if I'm going to get 32 minutes out of IB, then I'm definitely going to roster him on DK at least. He's not as strong a play on FanDuel, but he's still absolutely in the conversation over there.
Yeah, so FanDuel is 4-2, and we're only seeing 11% ownership on that.
He's so cheap on DK. I think that you have to play him in cash games. You have to play him in single entry 3 max stuff. The minutes.
You gotta love this. You gotta love this. Playing this guy, he's in a must in cash games.
I think he is though, especially in this matchup.
I agree, but
I don't know if I'm gonna if that's a way to be different, to not play, Brzdakis. Like I'm okay being different. I think.
My take is I would be overweight on him on DK at 30%. Now that doesn't mean that you have to be all in, but I mean I would get over the 30. I would say maybe go 50%, but I would say that you have to embrace volatility even more than you normally would this time of year, and you have to assume that they're going to continue giving him over 30 minutes. And if that's the case, then he's going to get 10x.
0.7 fantasy points per minute on DK. What about Bamba? Like Bamba's one of those guys, like he has these games where he shoots like 7 threes. And you never see it coming. I don't see it coming, at least. I rarely roster him because his minutes are super fragile. I do argue that like his minutes are probably more stable in a game where he's supposed to lose by 15, as opposed to if he's playing against Portland, you have to tank versus tank. You got to counter the tanks, and organically they should lose to Charlotte. So I think his minutes are more stable. If that makes sense to him, that's in my general logic for all this tank stuff.
Absolutely, and the Hornets get crushed by centers, so I think that's complete. I think he should definitely be in the pool for GPPs.
We saw Fultz start last game. It's still only played like 24 minutes or so. Is that we're assuming that we're projecting 25 on Fultz? Is that playable? Right?
It's playable, but your ceiling is absolutely capped. It's cap. It's a cap ceiling, so he's got to be super efficient. And he's not 4.4 anymore. Now he's 5.2. He's completely out of play, in my opinion, on FanDuel. But on DK, he might have a little bit of meat on the bone.
Give me a final thought as far as this game.
IB. I'm not too worried about the news later. So that's mine.
Brzdakis. All right. Kirk, do you have a final thought?
I'll echo. I mean, Bamba, he's high variance player, right? Like it's always been the case, but he does have the skill set to hit threes, to block shots, to absolutely go off in berserk in some of these games. And Tim alluded to the fact that they're really bad against centers, Charlotte, and they're also incredibly bad at defending the 3-point line. And it's going to be Plumlee's going to be, hanging back. So he's going to have his opportunity to start shooting threes and start lighting it up. Now, does that affect his minutes in a game that they're probably want to tank if things do go right? I don't know, but I do like him as a play tonight.
Where's Orlando officially at? Orlando, they only have 2 games left, and they're a game behind Houston, and they're 2 games in front of Detroit. So they're basically in that 2 spot for what it's worth as far as the tankathon. So I mean, I don't know how much they look at this stuff. I mean, obviously they're aware. And they won their last game egregiously, but all right.
And I just want to add one more thing. If you're still grinding this time of year, just go down in volume and spread out your player pool. I mean, that's my advice to you. If you're still grinding GPPs or 1 to 3 max, maybe shoot a little bit of less money, maybe spread out your player pool so you can embrace some of this volatility.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a losing week for me this week in basketball. I've had some good lineups here, good lineups there, but overall, I think I'm down. And typically, over the years. I've done well, because it's kind of information slates, although there's a ton of guesswork too. The field has gotten sharper and I didn't play any Horde also, Kirk. Like I played very little. I've not.
I purposely faded him, and then he picked up 2 quick fouls, and I was like, oh baby, yeah, this is my night. Start walking the dog, Phil, and then I start seeing block, put back 3. Everything dude just lit it up.
He's been,
and then it just became comical, to the point where it was just comical. Like he was the actual, he blew,
Did he win himself a contract?
I also faded him.
Yeah. Did he win himself a contract by somebody? Is he signed somewhere next year? Like as a league minimum guy? Or maybe, I don't know. Is he from
I don't know. I
have no idea either. Good for him though. And a nice little run. We'll always remember the Horde run. End of season 2022. Boston and Milwaukee, 227.5 is the total. Milwaukee happens to be a 9-point favorite here. Milwaukee should be fully healthy with the exception of Grayson Allen. Of course, Boston is without the services of Robert Williams, no Time Lord, no Al Horford, so short up front. And then Jason Tatum, the 19-year-old alpha for the Celtics, is not playing tonight. So projections are going to like Jaylen Brown. They're going to like Marcus Smart. Again, I think if this game, if it gets squirrely, it's going to get squirrely. It's going to be rough, but I think it's an awesome game to stack too. I'll throw it to you, Kirk Dees, as far as Boston. You feel like your Celtics are going to fight tonight?
I think they're going to fight. I think it's their mindset right now that everything they're operating like a well-oiled machine, and it's beautiful to watch. And they've sucked me in at this point. And I'm hoping that Robert Williams comes back, but it's Jason Tatum is a huge amount of usage that is out for this game tonight. And I still believe that they're going to be playing. And if they were totally waving the flag, then they would rest Jaylen and they would rest Smart, but they're not. So I think they're just picking little spot here and keep the momentum going. And so I think this is going to be a good game. And Jaylen is obviously, he's coming off of a really nice game. Several really nice games. I mean, he's in the zone right now, but it is a back-to-back, which is a little bit of worrisome, but this is a big game, I think for, getting ready for the playoffs here. So Daniel Tice is probably the safest from minutes with Al Horford being out and Robert Williams gone, I would think. So I have interest in him tonight. It's not an exciting play. It's not a high ceiling play, but it's definitely a minutes play. And then in Jaylen and Smart. And now if you want to play the different angle, if you think this game is going to play a little bit differently, then maybe you go to Peyton Pritchard, but I won't be.
The same thing, the same conversation with Tice we keep on having as far as the opportunity cost of center. And then, it's more of a, he's a power forward, isn't he? He's a power forward on Fanduel. So much for that thought process. He has 4.9 on DK. He's center only over there. And that's where I'm a little, you get 2 of them, Yeah, like you said, his minutes should be secure. He should play around 30 minutes or so. Decent fantasy point minute guy, capable of hitting a 3. Not great at it, but capable. We'll take that shot on occasion. On Fanduel, how much is Tice? 4.5. Okay, so he's going to be a little bit more owned over there. But
and he gets power forward on Fanduel.
Yeah. But the starting point, I think, is Marcus Smart on Fanduel at 5.3.
Yeah,
which that's kind of breaking the, we're looking at 46% ownership Fanduel specific. And I think that's correct, right, Tim?
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate what Kirk said, that if you think this game gets out of hand, then you should definitely be rostering Peyton Pritchard, because this could end up being like a Peyton Pritchard show blowout for the Bucks. I think that's a really good call by Kirk. But yeah, Marcus Smart on Fanduel should definitely be, that's one of my favorite plays. He's my first guy I'm putting in when I start building my single entry lineup on Fanduel. I wouldn't mess around with that one. He's gonna be super, super high owned. But I think he's always, he's a machine out there. He's always going at 100%. So I have no issue rostering him. Whether or not you want to be over 42% or not, that's up to you. But I'm definitely going to be rostering him. The bigger question for me is Jaylen Brown. I'm not sure quite yet if I'm going to roster him in my single entry build on either site. but he's definitely in consideration.
An update. I just bought a Tiger Woods mystery container, so get excited. I hoard these, by the way. I don't open them. I have like a Simone Biles mystery container, like a Usain Bolt. I have no idea what's in it. Wayne Gretzky. There could be a whammy. No clue. But I have it. $80 down the drain. There you go. Get excited. By the way, you should mention for Smart, Fanduel specific, that the price is awesome. DK still fine, but is full like almost 1K more, 6.2K over there. Give me the rundown, Kirkies. These are your Celtics. Who are we prioritizing? Jaylen Brown's 8-9.
I told you it's Jaylen, it's Smart, and it's Tice. And if you want to play the other angle where you think this game is going to be a blowout, just like Tim said, we go Peyton Pritchard.
What about White?
I don't think that he's part of a main, I kind of like him, but he would be like my fourth choice. But if you think this game's going to play like blowout, then he'll be resting too. So he's not really, I just don't think there's a ton of upside for him.
I think White gets squeezed out. Like if this game is close, he's a little bit too expensive on DK. I don't think I want him for 5.8, even at 1% owned.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd put him in the
4.9 on Fanduel.
Yeah, he's way more in the conversation on Fanduel, but I mean, he's only if you're making, if you're spreading it out, making like 20 or more teams, I'd say.
Tim, do I play 2 or possibly 3 Celtics if I'm playing Giannis? Can I play 3?
I wouldn't play 3. Not if you're no, I'd play 2.
All right. You agree with that, Curtis?
Yeah, I think you might be able to do 3 if this is a Celtics homer here. So
they run pretty tight rotations, Boston, and they're thin.
And
so
you're playing Giannis, so you're going to want a competitive, good game. But but Jalen's price is a little high. But he could absolutely go off in the spot. So I think the best answer is 2. But if you want to,
there's just so much opportunity. There's so much value tonight.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Dog agrees too, apparently. Do we want to talk about like anybody besides? I mean, of course you can play Middleton, of course you can play Holiday, but like, do you like anybody besides Giannis, Tim? Like, you really like him as like a priority play on Milwaukee?
No, I have really no interest in this game. I don't even know if I'm going to play Giannis in my one team.
Okay.
Well,
like if you're not playing Giannis, would you not play Brown?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of where the decision point that I'm at right now is Brown, Giannis. Like I'm not sure, but if I'm going to play Brown, though, I'm going to play Giannis.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I haven't completely made up my mind yet.
You could play Smart and not play Giannis, I think, on FanDuel. You could play Tice and do that. You could play Pritchard, obviously. Yeah. And not play Giannis.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Curtis, give me a final word as far as this game. I didn't ask you about Milwaukee, but like I assume you agree, or yes, you could play Holiday. Yes, you could play Middleton, but is there a priority there? Probably not.
The final word is I got a dog barking because there's baby in the hallway or something. But so I just grabbed my dog in my lap. So everybody, there's Phil. He's back for us for.
Wait, was Kirkwood just birthed? What just happened?
No.
Different baby.
Somebody's screaming with a baby in the hallway or something. And,
all right, there's shenanigans going down in the Kirkwood household. Let's move on. Let's talk about the next game. That's Philadelphia. Toronto 220 is the total. Philadelphia is a 1 point favorite here as far as the body parts. Philadelphia is without the services of Thibault. He's not eligible to play tonight. Can't play in Canada. No OG Anunoby, and a no, say it with me, Yuta Watanabe. Not official. I think they're both doubtful to play basketball this evening. But Tim, I'll throw it to you as Kirkis is dealing with a child, with a dog, and all sorts of stuff over there. I'm sure I'll pop back in a second. But all right, there you go. Is Embiid kind of lost? We talked about Jokic as a big spend. We talked about Cat a little bit cheaper. And then there's Embiid, who's still making his case for MVP. And Philadelphia still, I guess, wants to win. They're in the 4 spot. So if nothing else, they probably want to move to the 3, right? So Philadelphia wants to win tonight. And Toronto, they have that 5, I don't want to say locked down, but they're ahead of the Bulls by a game, 2 games in the loss column, actually. So both teams with some motivation, not extreme, but motivation for sure. What do you have?
Yeah, I mean, since they are motivated though, I feel like they're actually going to play defense in this game. I mean, this is not a good pace matchup for either team. So yeah, I mean, you are correct that Embiid is getting lost, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's good play, in my opinion. So I wouldn't X him out, obviously, if I'm making 150, but 11% owned is fine. He's 20% on Fanduel, but I don't know how he's going to be that high owned on Fanduel when you've got Cat and Jokic. So I mean, they're just such better plays than Embiid.
We have Cats at 34% ownership, Jokic at 31, and Embiid at 19 and a hook. Yeah, Tice 18. I do agree. I think Embiid's going to be a little bit lower, and Jokic might be a little bit higher, because we're talking about $300 as far as the difference. Not hard to find that salary,
right?
But like, if you can get Embiid at 15% ownership, is that not appealing enough for you? It's fine.
It's fine, but it's not anything that I would really have much conviction behind. Like, of course, if you build a team and you land on Embiid, you can play it, absolutely. Yeah. But it's not really the game environment that I want that much. I don't want to spend that much of my salary on a game environment like this.
And it'll be lower in single entry contests. You know that. It'll be lower than 20.
It'll be lower than
15, maybe like 7.
In the contest that I play, nobody will play Embiid.
Yeah. Which, like, and that's all you got to do sometimes is like make that 1v1, 2v2 move. And then you could play the rest Chalk City if you want to do it. And you're still different. Looking at the rest of the ownership as far as this game, Harden's getting 24% on FanDuel. He's below 5 figures, 9.7K. FVV, the minute's going to be there. We know how Toronto pushes their guys, looking at 10%. Nobody else beyond that. Haskell, very little ownership on FanDuel, 10K, 3% ownership. DK wise, we're looking at the biggest number is Harden at 12%, as well as Embiid at 12%. Nobody in Toronto beyond 10. It's interesting because, Kirk Dees, this game is mostly, I don't want to say neglected, but, certainly not featured. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I think it is will be kind of neglected tonight. And I have a tiny bit of interest, but, obviously these are two good defensive teams. The Raptors have been playing incredible defense lately. I do think this is going to have like a little, that playoff atmosphere, as since both of these teams are heading into the playoffs, they are with Philly is without their best defender, Thibault. I'm surprised Tommy G didn't call that. We're waiting on the Jaylen Brown news. Anyways, Embiid is in play, I'm not really excited about him. However, I think this is a great Van Vliet game. And, it's a bounce back after a game where a lot of people played him against the Hawks and are burned there, but the usage has been fine for 3 straight games. He's been up over 25% usage, at 28% in that game that he just bombed. The minutes are up there. We know they play these guys tight. He's at home. And Philly is weaker without Thibault. So I think Van Vliet's a guy that I'm definitely interested this evening. And then on FanDuel, I guess Scotty Barnes is too cheap now with Anunoby out, and maybe a little Gary Trent too, but nothing's really exciting.
Yeah, the FEV thing is like, there's no way of quantifying it. So we have no idea. We're not privy to the medicals, but like, he's obviously been scuffling and he's dealing with the knee. And like, how much is that actually bothering him? Like 4 for 21 the last game, 7-17, 7-19, 5-15, 4-13. Like, the field goal percentage has not been there.
I bet the over points prop on him today.
Okay, so talk about him.
19.5. I mean, I don't know how that relates so much to us for a DFS, but I do think that this is a good spot for FEV, and I think he's a little bit too cheap. I mean, he's obviously been hurt for most of the year, but he still has these games where he can just explode, and he's got a 50-point ceiling.
Yeah, and the price is down to a point where 50 points in like the 7K range, 7.5, whatever it is, 7 to 8, that should work for us tonight. So, yeah, I'm not crossing him out if I come to it. If I play an Embiid lineup, I would probably run it back with FEV. I think I'm okay with that, and I don't mind Trent. I don't mind Barnes. Not seeking him out, but if like that's the last man in, so be it. I think they're all okay. The minutes, of course, going to be secure on the Toronto side. We got anything else here? We're moving on. I think we're moving on, right?
Yeah.
Powering on through. That's 3 down. We got 4 more on layaway. Portland, the Trailblazers. 223 is the total against New Orleans. New Orleans, 17-point favorites in this game. Brandon Williams expected to be available. And I think, again, even means you think talk about this one. Same sort of deal where the tank's going to take care of itself. I think he was unavailable against, was it OKC or somebody like that? One of the terrible teams they're competing against. You got to match tank versus tank. And again, this game should organically, they should lose, despite the fact that Ingram's not expected to play for New Orleans. We're expecting Valanciunas to play. That's what we need, Tim, just another center. Like, if you can get 30 minutes out of Valanciunas tonight versus Portland, he should shellac them, drop the hammer, whatever sort of adjective you want to use. But, opportunity cost only can roll out so many centers. I don't think he's going to get a ton of ownership. And there's some apprehension as far as him coming back from injury as well. Little CJ McCollum, this is not first blood, but a second revenge game for him. He was good last game. I think he was too good. They beat him too hard, and he didn't play the fourth quarter, I believe. New Orleans, Portland, it's going to be ugly, Tim. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of your, great GPP game. If you're making, more than 20 teams, and then it's like, what do you do if you're making 1 to 3 teams? I think that this game is going to get so far out of hand that I would stay away. But, in a 1 to 3 setting, it's just even with Ingram not playing, I don't know. I just don't know. I guess it's CJ McCollum for me. I just don't want to take up a center spot. I just don't. I mean, I know he can do it. I know he can put up 55 3/4 against this team, but I just don't want to depend on that.
As it stands right now, Valanciunas 2% owned on DK, 1% owned on Fanduel.
I know that's crazy. It's crazy. I know.
What about the possibility of Devontae Graham potentially getting loose or Jose Alvarado getting loose? If this game gets, those guys.
I'd much rather play Alvarado than Graham if this game gets out of hand.
You think he's more likely to mop?
Yeah, I think he's way more likely to mop than Graham.
That's probably true. I think they're both kind of in the pool of guys. You're talking about potential game stack. I don't know who I like. Portland's
do we think that Larry Nance would mop?
I don't know. He's coming back.
Or do you think his minutes are just kind of stable where they are? He's going to get that same amount no matter what.
So it wouldn't be like Tony Snell, right? It wouldn't be Garrett. I don't think it'll be Tony Snell. I don't think it'll be Garrett Temple. I don't think. Who are the moppers? Trey Murphy would mop. Marshall probably mops. Maybe
I think Larry Nance might mop. He got 28 minutes the other night, so that we've seen a little, a push for some higher minutes, and you get a little bit of the revenge, right? He was just came over from Portland.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, I think if you think that Larry Nance mops, that he should be part of your pool. Not on FanDuel, he is way too expensive, but on DK, definitely he could be part of the pool.
Jump in here, Kirk Dees. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I like that. I'm kind of a little bit higher on Devontae Graham. I think just because I know he is a capable scorer at times. Alvarado's decent too, and Alvarado, I get the mopping argument, but crazier things have happened than Devontae Graham going off against the Portland Trailblazers, a guy who has been known to chuck, especially on a night when Ingram is out. CJ is gonna, it's how many minutes does he get? He's gonna crush when he's on the floor, right?
Yeah.
How many minutes? But so I think he's a strong play. I do think there is downside from the minutes potentially, but
bet his first half total points over. There you go. So you can avoid the blowout nonsense. What is that? What's the number? Take the over on it. Is it like 13 or something? 14? Take the over on it.
How much Tyler O'Neill did you have today?
None. Did you just bang out a homer?
He banged one earlier. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't make a ton of lineups. I only played on DK. By the way, the hook was given to Beaver. He did not finish 5, 4 2/3. I think it's right around 70 pitches, 4 strikeouts, 3 hits, an earned run. Pitch fine, like not spectacular. Cranky still in there. Only gave up 3 hits, only that 1 strikeout. It's your boy, the Franimal. Is he going to come back out for the 6th? I don't. He's at 71 pitches, so he probably goes one more. Maybe he gets that QS if you're playing on FanDuel. Cubbies up 5-4 on Milwaukee. Good time to mention, by the way. If you want to get yourself some baseball, you want it a la carte. You're watching a basketball show, but you want baseball a la carte. This is what you want. Rotogrinders.com. Get the RG Premium monthly subscription, $10 off, not just your first month, $10 off, also your second month. You get Dave Potts' musings, Cheese is Good, 2-time millionaire winner, stuff from all of us, obviously, Grant and Noto and Cards and a whole slew of other people. Derek Carty's in the premium show. You don't get his bat. The bat's an add-on, but I would recommend that as well. That's definitely useful. Do also want to mention that you guys are watching this on YouTube. You might have saw it earlier today. Maybe you tuned into the show. You want to hear us talk about baseball. Go to the archives. They talk about baseball this morning as far as tonight's slate, because there was baseball earlier. Dave Potts, Cheese is Good, Kevin Roth. You're going to want Ross weather reports. You're going to get all that stuff free this year on Crunch Time. Crunch Time taking you straight up the lock. And Dave Potts, Cheese is Good, and Kevin Roth weather reports taking you up to the bell every single time this year. We're going to have regular shows for baseball as well. Obviously, we're going to kind of bleed right into the Crunch Time, but yeah, thanks to Fanduel, I believe, for sponsoring that. And we've talked about this before, Kirk D's, but I know you got your rival weather model in the works. Roth is very useful. He's very useful. It's not that he's not useful during basketball. He's very good at hosting, but he has a very particular skill that you're going to want to, on certain days. He's very, very useful for weather. As we're grinding baseball. Go ahead.
I have more interest than I thought in Jose Alvarado.
What just happened? What just changed?
I just looked at some of the rotation stuff and some of the projections that I use, and I'm starting to like him a lot more.
What do we have as far as our projections? Let's see. They're both really cheap on DK. Like one's 3.7 and one's 4K. Let's see what we have here. We're looking at, and of course the matchup against Portland's awesome as well. Like I never really want to play Herb Jones, but I think he's okay as like a potentially a useful piece.
I see. That irks me. I'm such a Herb Jones fan that hurts, Dean.
Well, what do you want to say about Herb? Go ahead. Tell me why Herb
he
Jones
has so much more offensive talent than he uses. I'm just telling you that he does. This could be a perfect game for him too. Like he's such a good defender. This could be a bunch of steals and breaks, running in transition. He can shoot the 3 too. He's so much better than he shows.
But the key word you said that he uses, he's only a 14% usage guy. So if he only busts it out on occasion, if I can't rely on it, what's the point?
But Ingram's out tonight. There's plenty of usage to be picked up. Is what I'm saying is he's capable of picking up that usage.
I don't disagree with that premise. I just don't think he's maybe he's not an alpha. Maybe he's not aggressive enough to do it. I'm running a court IQ. I'm curious what the difference is. Ingram on, Ingram off. McCollum 32.8% as far as usage. Let's see. Did we get a boost in usage for Herb Jones? 1.9%. Yeah.
Woo!
A little bit of a boost. But yeah, I mean, it's still not spectacular. Final thought. So if you're playing Graham or you're playing Alvarado, 20 minutes projected for Alvarado. Our Graham minutes are 26 for what it's worth here, Kirk D's. Your preference is who?
I mean, I think Devontae might start, and I'll take him just because of the higher minutes, and also there's, like I said, crazier things, and he is a chucker at heart, and crazier things that happen of someone who's willing to just shoot and to go nuts against Portland. But the blowout angle is awfully tempting with Alvarado, so I would play one or the other, but I do like them both pretty strongly.
It's interesting that you can almost counter like the guy that isn't starting might be better, if it's a blowout.
That's my angle. It's that time of year. It's like, and this is that type of game. I'm not saying Kirk's wrong, or if you play Graham, you're wrong. But this is just a spot where I want to embrace volatility and be first place in 150 max, not 2x my money.
Tim, do you want to sell me on a Blazer? I got nothing. I'm not.
Keon Johnson maybe on Fanduel, but I am not crazy about that at all. On DK, I wouldn't fault anybody for Xing them out of your player pool. They have a lot of bodies, and they finally priced them up.
Yeah.
So it's like
the highest projected owned guy on DK is Ben McLemore at 9.5%. And I guess he would play some in a blowout just because, but you don't have to see what you have in Ben McLemore. But yeah,
I feel like this team just is going to play their guys their certain amount of minutes, and that's it. So even if somebody gets hot, they're not going to let them go. So I just don't think that that's that great of a play.
How about yourself, Kirk? Do you want to sell me on a Blazer?
Brandon Williams, assuming he's in.
Yeah, he's expected to play.
He's a high usage guy on this team, on this squad. But that would be the only one. Or maybe Greg Brown, but no, I'm not very interested in any of these guys.
Seeing any sort of interesting thing. Fultz starting once again for what it's worth. Fultz, Suggs, Okiki, Mo Wagner, and Bamba drawing the start. Is Mo Bamba starting for the first time? No, I'm sorry. Mo Wagner. Has he not been starting? Or he's just been playing more because
that is not who we had projected to start. We had IB projected to start.
Yes, I knew something was weird. I'm looking at this. I'm like, something is strange here.
So that's probably a big downgrade for IB. So
Sure.
You could probably disregard everything I said about him.
An upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like Wagner? I don't trust any of it.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, I actually do. I actually like Mo Wagner quite a bit.
He just needs minutes, this guy.
Right.
It sounds
That's
like he's
exactly
gonna
right.
get him. I mean, he does everything. He's a good a good producer.
You could stack the Mo's theoretically. A Mo stack? Has that ever happened? With Bamba and Wagner?
I think you're probably going to want to make a rule not to play those two together. That's just my.
I'll tell you one thing. Christian Yelich is a fraud. Okay, I just wanted to get that out.
You didn't roster him, did you? Didn't roster him, did you?
Of course I did.
Oh,
yeah, Yelich has been. Yeah,
he's so bad.
Yeah, it's not been good. By the way, Cranky is in a little bit of trouble. 2 guys on, 2 out, 84 pitches. Fanduel got a base knock. Bradley's at the plate, and they're throwing a new pitcher, probably a lefty against Bradley, I assume. But we'll see. So no quality start for Cranky. Missed it by just 1 out, and also lost the chance for a potential W. All right, let's talk about the Spurs and Minnesota. What do we have as far as the body parts here as we're scrolling? We do know that Lonnie Walker is questionable, and DeJounte Murray.
He's out. Walker's out.
Did I miss that? When that happened?
It just came out.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, literally just happened. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gary Harris, by the way, is available. That's one more guy to muck. I don't know if he's going to get any minutes, but could potentially muck some stuff.
That doesn't really. I don't think that's going to move the needle much.
Oh, you're not playing.
The IB news is huge.
All right. So Walker is in. The big one, of course, is that Murray is out. We've seen Trey Jones thrive in his absence. We've seen Trey Jones' price come up, but not enough, Tim. Really hard to get away from this again, far as I can tell. Are you still, I know you're playing single entry, 3-entry max stuff. I assume you're playing Trey Jones. You tell me.
Yeah, I sure am. This is by far my favorite game on the slate. Both these teams are, still trying. I mean, the Spurs essentially have the 10 seed locked up, but there is a tiny chance they can get to the 9. So I think they're going to play this game to win. I just the T-Wolves are the fastest paced team in the NBA, and so I see no reason to fade Trey Jones.
Second favorite Spur?
Keldon Johnson. I actually bet his over points prop also today. I think it was 21.5. I can't remember. Either way, he's definitely my favorite second Spur. I'm gonna be locking in Trey and Keldon.
Who are you running it back with? You're running it back with Cat, I presume.
Probably Cat. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna be Cat on FanDuel. I think that I'm probably going to be Cat on DK also.
The water's warm on DK too.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Ownership
just
of this
such a
game-
huge
okay.
Jokic guy. I'm just such a huge Jokic guy. That's all.
I keep
So it's hard.
fading
How do you
him.
not?
I keep fading him
Oh, why?
because I'm an Embiid truther.
Oh, like he's good too, but like, yeah.
So it gets
Um,
personal. You know what I mean? It's like
Do you have any
Jokic
tickets
run-
for MVP?
you don't want to go here.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Oh, well, I wish you luck, whatever side you're on. Ownership is not shying away in this game. You know, it's clear and obvious. It's one that's popping for sure. Trey Jones looking at on DK 5.3K. We're looking at 37% ownership. Cat, 9.6. Therefore, he's 34% owned. Big Body Johnson all the way up to 6.8 and still 31% ownership. Devin Vassell getting 24%. And then like the Minnesota guards like Russell and Edwards, right around 9-10%. And on Fanduel, we're looking at kind of the same story. Cat at 34%. Devin Vassell at 34%. He's a little cheaper over there, 5.5. And Trey Jones is more expensive at 5.8, but still meeting that bone in my estimation at 31%. Keldon, big body, is at 27%. Vanderbilt's 3.9. So that's, I was thinking, Tim, you think you would run maybe 2 T-Wolves in this game in your stack at you like the Spurs, you like Cat, your second favorite guy in Minnesota when you factor everything in?
Well, it's D'Angelo Russell is my favorite, but I don't know if I can get to him,
Yeah.
because-
He just got downgraded to.
Oh, he did?
questionable. Yeah.
Okay. What is it? Is it a body part or something?
Hammy soreness.
Well, it could be Pat Bev's season then, because
Yeah.
he's cheap enough. So
Sure.
he's cheap enough where you could go Bev, Towns, Keldon, Jones, Russell, they finally priced him up on FanDuel. So, if he does play, you're probably too expensive to do that.
Trying to see who else would benefit in the absence. Beasley, I guess, Beasley's all about those points, but in theory, he can put 20, 25 actual points in the bucket. Not many other routes for him to get you there. Curtis, what's your thoughts? It sounds like you're on this game as well.
That's a good call with Beasley. And, obviously Anthony Edwards, potentially. He's, had a rough last game, but had looked to come out of it, before, he had a rough stretch earlier. But, I love this game. Tim nailed it. It's the fastest team against another blazing fast team in the Spurs, and they're young Spurs. And I think Lonnie Walker being out is a big, pretty meaningful actually for Devin Vassell, and also for potentially Josh Richardson in this game. So obviously Trey Jones is the guy I like. I like Keldon too, but Devin Vassell, he's a scorer, man, and I think his minutes are going to be secure. I think he's got some good minutes upside in this game, and he's kind of peaking right now. He's been going off and getting high usage here, so I'm on board there. I would have liked Russell. Russell on FanDuel has just been a joke, the price over there. But now that he's downgraded, I think that was pretty sharp called with Malik Beasley.
It's funny.
I just want to jump off that real quick that I said I was going to be locking in Keldon and Jones on DK. I'm not locking in Keldon on FanDuel. I much prefer Vassell on FanDuel.
Yeah, that makes sense. Curtis, when you said Josh, I thought you were going to say Josh Primo. It's funny. There's a couple Joshes, and it's interesting because I see some of the questions, and somebody was asking about Primo with the absence of Walker. He's been bad fantasy-wise, just for the record. Like, he's probably going to start for like 0.65 fantasy points per minute. I know the matchup is good here against Minnesota. They play at a fast pace. I just don't know. And this is a DK question. He's 3.4 in DK, 4.8 in FanDuel. In my estimation, essentially unplayable on FanDuel, but 3.4, sure, on DK. But I don't know how much I need that. How much do I need that, Curtis?
I don't think you need it at all.
Yeah.
I prefer Josh Richardson anyway.
Fair enough. Yeah,
I also prefer Josh Richardson.
Does he close Richardson?
He has. They lean on him when the games are tight.
He's a Popovich type player. So I mean, if this game is close, and he's going to be closing. So
Hey, Freddie Van Vliet was just ruled out.
Oh, I saw that. Yep.
And we're bearing Yuta Watanabe also ruled out. So both and OG Anunoby, which we kind of knew. But
So it's Siakam running point, or are they going to go Malachi?
It might be Barnes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
he'll yeah.
They're going to let
They
Barnes
can't-
get
they
the
do
rookie of
that.
the year now on me, aren't they?
But I mean, Gary Trent usually has performed extremely well in these situations.
Is Malachi, he's not still minimum anymore. Malachi Flynn he's 5'3" on Fanduel and 4'8" on DK. How is that? Like, when has he played last? He's put like once in the last, why is his price so high? That's weird.
They're prepared for this.
Yeah, okay. And both sites are.
Yep.
He's even 16 on Yahoo. Like, what is that?
I mean,
Yahoo
that's
has
just-
playable guys.
there's no rhyme or reason over there. They're not prepared for it. That's just dumb luck.
Okay.
Well, I will say that Gary Trent on FanDuel is going to be super chalk now because he's 5,200 over there, and it was already projected for 9% ownership. So
yeah, that's pretty solid.
yeah,
How
he's
about
going to be.
Pascal's a big spend?
I don't think so.
Still can't get there, huh?
No, I don't think so.
10K on FanDuel, 9.5 on DK. Oh man,
I mean, he
tough.
certainly needs to be in the pool, but not in my 1 to 3 settings.
I think I'm gonna play a little Pascal. It's my first thought. I'm still adjusting this. We're all adjusting this on the fly, but okay. Curtis, you got a thought? Of course, we'll circle back and stuff like that, but we got to power through. But your initial thought as far as FEV being out, who's your favorite guy in Toronto?
I mean, Trent has performed extremely well in these situations. So his minute, he'll get high minutes in this one. So I think he'll be chalky for sure, but I think he's good chalk. And then, Scotty Barnes is definitely, Anunoby's out too as well. So Barnes does run the offense quite a bit. So I can get there. And then Siakam is the high spend guy that you just said. So those are the guys, and we'll have to wait and see what they're going to do with Flynn.
Usage for Pascal jumps up 3.8% without FEV, without Anunoby at the 29.5%, which is a nice appealing number. Trent, 24.8% usage. That is a bump up of 3%. Anything else that's kind of sort of interesting, trying to see? Not really. Those are the two likely benefactors. Interesting, Scotty Barnes has less usage, by 1%, but more fantasy points. So, all right. Final thought here, Tim, as far as San Antonio, Minnesota.
No, I think we pretty much covered it all. I think it's just Vassell, Jones, Johnson for me.
You got anything else, Curtis?
No, we went over it.
2 more games. If you guys are over on YouTube, we're gonna have time to answer your questions. So fire off some questions. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Do turn on notifications. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can. Are you guys prepared to answer any baseball questions by chance?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah, I am too. So yeah, looking forward to. I think the Angels are kind of my sneaky team tonight. I don't know if you have a sneaky team, Tim.
I gotta take them out right now.
Oh no, there's my one.
Let me ask you this, Dean. Let me ask you this. Did you see who's batting 4th for the Angels today?
Duffman. I saw that too.
I mean, Can you imagine a worse 4-hitter in the entire world?
It's fun. It's funny you said it because that was my initial thought, but then my other thought is Madden's learning, bat your absolute best players the most.
Madden's been playing this guy for forever. He loves this guy.
I know.
He was a Cub. Yeah.
Cubs. Yeah, he was batting cleanup on the Cubs.
But I think that I had that same thought, and then I was like, well, wait, yeah, Ohtani is awesome. You get to dictate how many times this guy bats, and you can bat more if you've hit leadoff as opposed to batting 4th. So let's bat him first. Yeah, so it's Ohtani, Trout, and Rendon. I think 1, 2, 3 in some order. I think it's Ohtani first. But so yeah, I thought it was goofy too. But then well, wait, no, let's have the best hitters hit the most. And Joe Adell is going to homer tonight. There you go. I'll give you the guys.
I am an Adele fan. He is pretty good.
Yeah,
Little Jack in a bag.
He's gonna bang one and swipe one. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, that's kind of my. I don't want to say sneaky team. I don't know if they're
Shout out to
sneaky or not.
Pepsi.
There you go. Jack in a bag. Yeah, you know, you got the what was this? The gas can of the night. I don't know if the gas can of the night happens to be. I'll have to ask him. I'll slide into a. We talk on Skype. We're old school.
Skype, really? That's just now the people use that just to scam you is what that's used for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not talking to Pepsi. I don't know. All right. Memphis versus Denver. 233 is the total. It's high and it's tight, right? Memphis just 4-point dogs here. Of course, Memphis still without John Morant. Dylan Brooks is questionable. I assume he sits because, like, if there's anything wrong with him, why would you play him? They are locked into the 2 spot. Can't go to 3, can't go to 1. They're not budging. Denver has the chance to lock in the 6 spot tonight. Jeff Green is questionable for what it's worth. Well, we've kind of talked about his name a couple of times here, Kirk Dees. You know, Jokic, you've faded him on occasion. And again, obviously that salary isn't something you don't think he's good. But yeah, how much are you prioritizing the Joker tonight?
I mean, he's the clear top stud, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So,
but there's good stops along the way.
It's a fine matchup for him, and it's a game that they're going to be playing hard, and he's absolutely got nuked and played massive minutes in every game as far as I can look back for a while. So yeah, I'm on board with Jokic. Yeah.
Anybody else in Denver?
The Will Barton, he keeps tempting me with the price over there on Fanduel. Yeah, probably not so much. It's probably just Jokic.
Yeah. So, like, what's left to say about, game 80? We know Jokic is good, right, Tim? It's just a matter of how he fits in your lineup, how much he hurts the rest of your lineup, yada yada, with the build, because he's pricey. How much are you prioritizing making way? Well, it sounds like you want to play Cat because he's cheaper and still really good, but you're not here to discourage people from playing Jokic, I assume.
I mean, I think he's a tremendous GPP play on FanDuel, where Cat is going to be just super, super high owned. If Cat for some reason gets into foul trouble or just has a bad game, and you get the monster Jokic game on FanDuel, you are going to be doing laps on the field. So, that is a tremendous leverage spot for FanDuel. DK, I think I'm going to play him. I'm going to try to make it work in my single entry build. Jokic reminds me of a lot of when Westbrook was in his prime with the Thunder, and you were like, can we ever fade him? Can we ever fade him? And
Durant
the answer was
out.
no. And that's where I put Jokic in that boat.
Who's out?
What's
Wasn't
that?
it like Durant?
Durant.
Yeah, they played.
They played yesterday.
No, when Durant on the Thunder back when Russell Westbrook.
Right.
That was when Durant was out, it was Russell Westbrook 100 fantasy points.
Right.
I'm sorry. I was thinking like there was breaking news and like Durant's out.
No. But like even when Durant left the Thunder, you know what I mean? And, it was just the Westbrook show and you just had to play him every single night. That's kind of how I feel. That's how Jokic is. So it's a tougher conversation on FanDuel because Cat's price is broken. So, but if I was playing 150 teams and Jokic was really 25%, I'd get to 50%. That would be my take.
What about Memphis?
I have zero interest in Memphis. They have no reason to be playing all these guys. I mean, they're full of bodies. They're all priced efficiently. I see no reason. I would X them out of your player pool.
Yeah, I don't think I'm playing him either. And if you're going to sprinkle somebody in on Memphis, Tim, say you're happy that you're running one.
It's Desmond Bane, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's what I think it is too.
I believe we did a show the other day, and I admitted that I had a Jaren Jackson problem. 39 minutes against the Jazz, 27 shots. I play this guy too much, and he finally did something for me. So I just wanted to pat myself on the back
you win,
and recommend him again tonight. And I like Aaron Gordon on the other side. If you're not playing Jokic, you might as well do some Aaron Gordon.
Let's talk about the hammer. That is the Lakers. More of a chisel game, I suppose. Lakers versus Golden State, 218.5 is the total. Lakers are 14-point dogs. I wish this is a game you can cross off. I don't think it is. We have Monk, Reeves, THT, Stanley Johnson, and Dwight Howard drawing the start. Of course, no LeBron, no Westbrook, no Davis. Came back for a cup of coffee, and they cut Ariza. Golden State, obviously no Steph. Everybody else good to go. Man, so what do we do with this game, Tim? Because, you know, THT looks like an awesome play. Monk looks like a really solid play. There is some fragility, but like you'd have to think they're going to prioritize playing THT over vets like Avery Bradley, Wayne Ellington, Melo, Stanley, the Steamer, right? Like they have to, I think
THT is going to play huge minutes tonight. And I think if there's one must have, you got to put him in, you know, pretty much all your lineups. It's him. As gross as that sounds, I think that this is just going to be his team tonight. I mean, obviously you got Malik Monk. I think he's the more fragile piece. I'm not saying don't play him, but I'm saying he's the minutes wise, he's the more fragile piece. I don't think THT is the fragile piece. I think he's going to crush his price tag on both sides.
Do you have a third favorite Laker, or that's not even worth entertaining?
Gabriel, maybe. I mean, but that's it. I mean, Stanley Johnson is and Austin Reeves, even with this lineup, it's so gross. I mean, there's such low usage. So I don't know. I think it's
Reeves
probably
kind of needs him. Reeves kind of needs somebody to get him a shot, and like who in this team is going to get him a shot?
Right. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but that was it just sort of popped in my head. I was thinking like, you see, he'll get some open threes. You know, LeBron will get him some nice shots, but I don't know, man. I don't know who's going to hook him up here and as far as his teammates tonight.
I just think the big decision point is Monk, because we know that he has a ceiling at that price. I'm just not convinced that the minutes are going to be there. That's my problem.
Curtis?
I think I agree. Taylor Horton Tucker is like, I think he's just a must play tonight, unless, you know, if something stupid happened and he fails, it's possible. But I think he's going to be out there pretty much most of the game. And I think he's been upset about his role, and I think he can score, and he's a priority play. I like Monk because I don't see who else is going to score and get buckets in this game. And I think he's going to just have to. So I'm on board with both of them. Everyone else, I don't really care. I mean, Wendell Gabriel next would be the guy, I guess, but Stanley Johnson, no, thank you. I mean, he's fine if he like fits and you need him, you know, but like, what's he going to do?
Not much,
Yeah.
I don't think. And they signed THT. They got him for 2 more years. Like they did pay this guy like a decent, 3 years, 30 mil, whatever it was. And he's still young. He still theoretically can get better, right? He's only 22, I think, or 21.
And then everybody else is a vet. So like, I don't know what, like, so is Kent Bazemore going to get any run? I mean, obviously we know Ariza isn't now. They're not going to let Carmelo have his last ride. Maybe that could happen, but
maybe he retires, but that happens another game. He has his Kobe game or something like that. But I don't think that's tonight. Has there been rumors he's retiring? I don't know, but wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. How about Golden State on the other side? Kirky's like Poole looks like a good play if this game stays close. Like several, Clay's fine, Draymond's fine. Porter is one of those guys that's probably coming off the bench. So loses a few minutes there. And if it gets ugly, like maybe loses a few more minutes because he's not a guy that's going to mop up. So yeah, Golden State, what do you have here?
So here, I kind of think the interesting one. So I think Poole, yes, right. I actually prefer Clay. It seems to me like they're really trying to get him ramped up. And I think that there's a case to be made to just let him keep going out there for big minutes in this game to get him on his path forward for the playoffs. Draymond would be the guy I'd be most scared of. Wiggins, I'm maybe. I think I'm not sure. And then because I mean this game, I'll be shocked if it doesn't blow out. You know, like they should absolutely wreck them. But so I'm just trying to think like who. I think Clay has a path to being out there anyway. Maybe I'm wrong with that, and maybe they use this as like a rest game for him. But I don't know. I could see it either way. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're all going to crush when they're on the floor.
Tim?
Give
I
me
mean,
the minutes.
it's a huge ownership gap between Poole and Thompson. So Thompson definitely should be in your pool for GPPs. It's tough for me. I know Jordan Poole's been fantastic. There's just other plays that I have to get to, you know, that that are priorities for me in single entry type contests. If Jordan Poole beats me, I won't be surprised, but I'm just gonna have to accept that because I think that this game is just a pretty ugly game and it's gonna be a blowout. And I'm not completely convinced it's gonna come from one Warrior, you know, one Jordan Poole. It could be Clay.
Yeah, I might make a little game stack here. Like if, you know, play THT, play Monk, and play Poole and maybe another Warrior. I'm not sure, but that's sort of what I'm thinking. But I'm not. Yeah.
And I think that that's perfectly viable for anybody else that wants to do that too. I just have to accept the fact that I can't play everybody. So I think this is where I'm going to have to say no to Jordan Poole.
Yeah, I get it. Our projection team, by the way, right now they're working on Toronto. I'm curious if we get something before we get off the air as far as oh, here we go. Looks like, yeah, so we're given 39 minutes to Pascal, 36 to Trent, 37 to Barnes, 28 to Boucher, who could be interesting, 28 to Precious Achua, 18 to Rad Thad. Brooks and Flynn were each given like minutes in the teens, so neither are interesting. You know, and of course, this is before the starting lineup comes out, and some stuff could change. Just sort of.
And Mo Wagner's projection is through the roof too. So I mean, he's definitely in the cash game conversation.
Oh, he's 3.9 on Fanduel.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, he's gonna be played really hard on Fanduel. DK 4.6, still playing hard.
Yeah.
We're projecting 29 fantasy points from on DK, which is 26% ownership, 27 minutes. But that Fanduel price is that's hard to get away from, right, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, he is by far a top play in all formats. I mean, like Kirk said, he's the type of guy that just fills up the stat sheet. He does everything. So I mean, I think he's a must play on DraftKings also.
Begrudgingly, I'm probably going to play him, but I'm not happy.
I like attacking the Hornets. The Hornets aren't a very good defensive team, so I don't mind having a Magic.
He's gonna crush.
Yeah.
It's gonna he can play in a fast-paced game. You know what I mean? He can score, he can rebound, he can block, he can steal, he can do it all.
Yeah, but amongst my Wagners, he's my second favorite Wagner in the NBA.
Sure.
We're gonna power rank those.
But tonight he's your guy.
He's the number one Wagner tonight by default. Got some questions for y'all from chat. Kuminga, is he worth a shot on FanDuel? What do you think? I assume he's close to the min. You're playing on FanDuel, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, if you think this game is a blowout and he's going to be on mop-up duty, I guess. But I think that there's so much value tonight. You're doing yourself a strong disservice by playing someone like him.
Sticking with FanDuel, Tim. Kid wants to know, FanDuel tournaments, do you like Poole or do you like LaMelo? And that might be a lineup construction thing, right? Who else you're playing in your lineup? Maybe. But who do you prefer, just as a general thought?
Well, I prefer Ball. Yeah, I prefer Ball.
How about yourself, Kirk? Do you same deal? Poole versus LaMelo?
Oh, Ball for sure.
Is Mo Bamba going to be chucking up threes for Charlotte? Maybe. I don't know if he's going to make them with the incredible efficiency that he has been. But how do you feel about Bamba, Curtis?
Love him. I mean, he could wreck you. Like it's a high variance play. But I do like him. Like Charlotte doesn't guard the three, man. He's gonna be able to shoot threes tonight in this matchup.
Tim, William is asking about Minnesota guards like McLaughlin or Knoll. I feel like that's, they're pretty thin. Yeah, we might get Russell out, but still, it's not like, oh yeah, you got to play these guys, right? Like there's a path.
Again, it's the same thing as the last question, is that there's just so much value tonight that I just don't think that that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, they're like sprinkles if you want to sprinkle if you're running 150 lineups, but if you're playing 1 or 3 in the 3-man or single entry, like I can't imagine playing those guys. I mean, unless maybe we get Russell rolled out, and still probably not. Curtis, I know we talked about it before, but they want to know about Derek White. Your thoughts on Derek White?
4th favorite Celtic. So probably not.
Tim, can you rank these 3 players? DK Tournament, Explorers Mark wants to know Alvarado, Pritchard, or Trey Jones. It's got to be Trey Jones.
Well, Trey Jones definitely is number 1, 100%. Then it's probably Pritchard. Then it's Alvarado.
Irish is telling me that there's a narrative streak going down with Embiid going for the scoring title. You remember when David Robinson went for 70 in a game to oust Shaq? Man, Irish, you are outing yourself as being an old. I actually don't remember that, but I'm sure it happened. I'm not doubting you. But it's funny because LeBron has to play 2 games in order to qualify for the scoring title. That's why I thought he might play tonight, but he's seems legit hurt. And I thought it'd be a blast to watch LeBron just like try to put up 70 just because. But it seems like Embiid's going to win the scoring title. I don't know who's 3rd. Who else is lurking? I'm not sure. But LeBron won't qualify, I believe, because I assume he's not playing tonight. I assume as what Twitter account is doing that, the Underdog. That's all, folks. I think that's all, folks, for the LeBron, for Davis, for Westbrook. I think they're all donezo. But okay, noted. Yeah, I like Embiid. I don't know if I like him more than some other guys. Zach Collins? What is Zach Collins? What is Flores Mark looking at that he's asking about Zach Collins here, Curtis?
Let's see.
Because I have not considered Zach Collins. Is that a mistake on my part?
He's been pretty darn good lately, and he's been playing a decent amount of minutes.
Okay.
So I think we should look into him a little bit. He's cheap, 4,500.
I think he could be part of the pool on DK.
Yeah.
4 or 5, maybe a game stack piece or something like that. Likely not starting, but yeah, okay. Fair enough. I have not considered him, but maybe that was wrong of me to not consider him. Jonas Valanciunas.
Pirtle's been banged up a little bit here. So
we talked about Valanciunas being incredibly low owned and just nobody's going to play him. And man, the matchup obviously is prime, coming back from an injury of some sort. Assuming he plays like 30 or 31, he can completely wreck shop against Portland. I do think that's interesting. I'll ask this one to Kirk D's. Beantown wants to know, is Bobby Portis in play? Consistently crushes Boston. You know this. And is he blowout proof?
When he was on the Bulls.
Okay. I've not considered Bobby Portis.
Yeah, I haven't either. Good luck trying to, well, maybe, but no. Good luck against my Celtics defense.
Showboat saying Scary Terry's price is too good for tournaments. You guys didn't seem terribly thrilled about Scary Terry.
I'm not too thrilled about it, but I mean, if you have strong conviction about it, go ahead and play him.
Yeah, I think he's okay. I think he's fine. I'm not gonna exit. Give me a baseball take, Tim. You said you had some baseball takes. We got to go. Obviously, we got to make way for basketball crunch time. Again, if you guys are tuning in now for baseball crunch time, free on YouTube going forward. You get chief meteorologist Kevin Roth. You get amongst other people, 2-time millionaire winner Dave Potts. Cheese is good, best in the business. That's free going forward. Thank you to Fanduel. But basketball crunch time's coming up for premium members here at Rotogrinders in about 8 minutes or so. We have to step aside. But Tim, I want to get a baseball take from you tonight.
I bet Manny Machado's over 1.5 hits plus 155. That's what I did.
You got one, Kirkies? You have one ready to go?
And I bet Juan Soto to hit a homer plus 400.
There you go. Oh, he's awesome.
No, I've got nothing. I'm on absolute tilt because I took Tyler O'Neill out of my lineup and he's chalk in high school.
I know you guys. So. Adam Wainwright, by the way, seems like the must-have.
Yeah, and I faded Adam Wainwright.
I faded Adam Wainwright, so I'm on tilt too.
You guys both made fun of like chalk Adam Wainwright, and rightfully
he's
so.
Gonna pitch like he's gonna go a complete game.
Well, no, he's at 77 pitches, but he might get the QS on Fanduel. One more out. He needs one more out. All right, we got to step aside and get out of here. Do appreciate y'all watching us, powering through at this point. Who's ever left playing basketball, bless you. You're playing with me. Hopefully one of us take something down tonight. Have a good time with it. That was Tim. That was Kirkwood. That was Devin producing. Do appreciate y'all. That was basketball. We're out of here.